my little honey blocks, and welcome back to the Princess channel. Today we're going to be making even more progress on our pink city. That's right, we have a plan to make a whole city in Minecraft devoted to my favorite color. So if you like pink Minecraft or lore-backed builds, subscribe to join us on this rosy journey. If you missed last episode, we were tasked by a mysterious friend to create a pink city on this island. Ever since then, we've built a tourist information office, some public transport, and a big welcoming archway. This leads us to where we are today, where we want to plan what we're working on. We have 2 smaller buildings, hopefully some lampposts too, and hopefully this will just kind of bring this whole area together. The shop should also provide some much needed variation to my diet too. This is as my friend has written back to us and has agreed to stock the shops with necessities as they happen. They also wrote about how there are people nearby wanting to come and work at the stores. I didn't even know that I had neighbours, but I guess I do. So I need to start thinking of them too as we build. I am so motivated. I just want to start on the courtyard area already. So I'm trying to build a space where community can come together but also incorporate nature. I hope that you can kind of understand what I mean, but if you don't, that's okay, because you will see it with your eyes very soon. To work out what I wanted to do with these 2 buildings, I pulled together some pictures of buildings in the world that have similar vibes. I wanted them to feel old and lived in, as they're kind of close to a beachfront. They're constantly getting whipped up by sand. However, I also wanted a contemporary inside, mostly for utility. The buildings that I took inspiration from your world are full of these cluttering fronts with lots of signs and balconies, which I really like. I wanted the buildings to have a stilt area too. In the back of the building, it'll match up with the rest of the placement on the island. The palette that I will use builds will need to mesh with the smooth terracotta of the tourist information office and match the pieces of our archway too. So let's just jump into a building montage of these 2 shops and see how we get on. Something that I started to realize quickly is that these buildings really need a lot of variation in height. So I use lots of fences and trapdoors to achieve this. When I say like variation in height, I mean like front ways, forward ways. Difficult. Difficult to explain. I do intend on these shops being busy, but most people would probably want to stand outside to eat or in the stilted area seated. After building these 2 stores, I worked out my walkways. And I also wanted to find some lighting spots, and there's a perfect spot for a lamppost. The lamp is definitely inspired by lit topiary. You usually see these at fancy events or weddings, especially with the pink leaves and the fancy trapdoors at the centre. It really does remind me of those centerpieces at weddings. I've seen this kind of design before in Minecraft too, so I knew that it would fit perfectly with the aesthetic that we have in this section. Next, I had already laid out where the courtyard would be going and created flower boxes to define the entrances and exits. This plaza was very inspired by the witching tree, Nikki. The tree is at the center of Horrible. If you haven't played this game, it's where townsfolk go to make their wishes, so I really wanted a pink pie version of this idea. That's when I worked out the idea of cherry blossom tree. It was internally lit and little glowing lights hanging down. So altogether, let's build this tree. I recently found this technique from watching some tutorials, and if you're looking to create more unique and natural looking leaf clusters, it's best to work in layers and use an on and off pattern to create gaps and spaces. This tree took around 2 hours to fully complete, but I am a little bit slow. Finally, I wanted to add finishing touches, like the circle around the base, a bench, and some new leaf litter on the ground. The hardest part of these builds was keeping the randomness of nature visible, but still not diminish the archway entirely. I feel like I managed to achieve that by placing the tree in a different, perfect way to be framed by the archway as you move through it. My favourite pieces of the builds that we've done today is the cohesive feel between all of the builds. We use similar materials or matching drainage on the stores to create that. I also really like the theme changes that's signified at the archway, that this space is different to the space before and that it's more grand and to expect grander builds. I really enjoyed making these builds in the past few days, getting them ready to be seen by you and my friends when they visit. Next time I will be creating some really important and big buildings like the town hall, the hospital, the department store. We will have to see if we really can do that all in one day, but we will give it a good try. As per usual, the last thing to do now is check off my checklist and write out a reply letter to my friend, showing them all the sweet progress that we've made today. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you again next time. Bye-bye!